So this is so this entire journey of the Eastern wisdom, the goal is self-discovery. What is self-discovery? To find real self. What is real self? No, you have a goal that today I'm going to earn $1,000. In the evening you have $1,000 in your hand. Exactly the same way Eastern wisdom works. So when I'm talking about real self is of the nature of peace and happiness. Am I in peace and happiness 24/7? $1,000 in my hand. Why I married? For happiness. After the marriage, am I happy all the time? Mind deeper inside say I should not have married. I did a mistake. So the question comes, why we fail and how we should succeed. Huh? Right? So I'm coming directly to the question. Don't repeat these principles again and again. I have understood it. Really? We have understood? Yes. Okay. You wake up in the morning next day. First experience, your personal experience is peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. Second day you wake up, it is same. Third day, wake. First option. Do you have that? Do you live into that state? Answer yourself. That's why we are continuing the journey. Keep a smile on the face, don't get upset. Sometimes we start blaming ourselves, look at this guy, he is blaming us. No, I'm not blaming you. It's a reality check. Second situation, you wake up next day, you have a stress, any kind of stress. The mind gives you the stress, the intellect says peace is my essential nature and the stress is gone. You don't need to attend the session. And if that is not happening, I have to find out an answer why we fail and how we should succeed. Did you understand these two examples? I simply said why we have been attending these sessions for so many weeks and months and years. Why we fail. Huh? I'm repeating it. You wake up in the morning and you are in peace. It continues until you sleep. Next day, third day, fourth day. It's natural. Real self is natural. You are there. But still you attend the session because now you are applying these practices in your daily life, in your relationship, with your mind. Second situation, you wake up in the morning and the mind brings the past impression, you have a stress, and you have the knowledge coming, pouring down into the mind from an intellect. Peace is my essential nature. Stress has to do nothing with you, and you are changed. Second situation. We are answering the question why we fail, how we succeed. Now the third situation. You wake up in the morning and you have some issues and you have some problem, you have some pain and suffering. Hell with the teacher, this beard guy looks crazy. There is no peace at all. And then it takes over your life. These principles in the teachers, and the practices all have gone. Why we fail? Answer. Why you fail? Answer this. No, don't answer me. Answer to yourself. Because you have a problem. Answer yourself. Are you getting it? Why we continue this journey? First thing that you learn every week and you start applying these principles in your life. You are living your life, my friends. You're living your life with the relations, in your profession, your social and the family life. Your perspective of the entire world should change. Your perspective of your self should change. If they do not change, that is why you fail. No, but I've been attending these sessions for weeks, months, and years, and nothing is happening. Yes, another reason. I have intellectually accepted this teaching, but I'm not realizing, translating them into action. A subtle ego works. I have understood. I wake up in the morning with a stress. Mind says, I have understood. Hell with the teacher, hell with the teaching. Nothing is happening. Find out the reason. Reason is within you, not outside. Why we fail? I have created a big gap between my intellect, who declares that I have understood, and the mind that continues its old ways. And then we have an excuse. After all, I have depression for so many years, it will go slow by slow. No, it will not go slow by slow. Are you getting it? Say yes. We do not challenge why my mind goes back to the same old stuff, doing the same thing. I do not challenge it. Journey of these weekly sessions, especially on Mondays and Thursdays, to bring about a fundamental change in our life, in our attitude, in our thought, in our action. I have not been able to raise my level of awareness to recognize the projection caused by the mind in ignorance results into stress, maniac attitude, behavior, etc., etc. I left the sentence incomplete for you to complete. Understand, my friend, understand. I have understood peace is my essential nature, but the wound is there in the mind, on the surface. I hate this guy. No, peace is my essential nature. I react to a situation Happiness is my essential nature. Otherwise, we have many excuses. Otherwise, happiness is my essential nature. Except in your situation, except when you come, then I hate you. Do you understand the gap between the intellect and the mind? It will not work. That is why, now you see, that is why I am answering the question and then I will come directly. Why we fail? How should we succeed? That is in our tradition, that you have the principle, but the teacher gives a different context. When you share your experiences, I pick up a lot of things, and then I said, okay, the next session I will pick up this topic. That is why we adore, we respect the teacher in our tradition, because the teacher gives you a different context based on the principle. You study the books, you don't get anything except the basics. Oh, peace is my essential nature, happiness is within me, the real self is that. But the context that your mind is demanding, you get from the teacher. I think you might have understood until now. But the teacher is not important. You are the most important. That is why I asked the question. That is your question. Why we fail? How should we succeed? Now, what is? So, desire to succeed, yes. Jerry knows. She has completed youth yoga teachers training with the Casey, and she has been with me. Her parents are asked me that you should mentor her, and it has been the third year. I gave you one sample. Yesterday she was talking to me. She had her younger sibling cried, reacted, angry. She said, when you calm down, then I will talk to you. Jerry knows. She is only 14 years. Why we fail, how we succeed. It's not that, I just talk of dry principles. No, it is not intellectual. Intellect must push the mind to bring about a change. How dare you, mind, tell me that I am stressed? She said, then I asked her that what happened. She told me then I left the room, and when she calmed down, then I asked her that younger sibling, both her sisters, that did you solve your problem by crying and angry over me? She understood the very first chapter of Yoga Sutra clearly. We understood the different states of the mind, and we just opened up all those principles. And I was so overjoyed. So we, teachers in the Eastern wisdom, become happy because you are now responsible for your life. A reference point, and then I'll come back. My master who initiated me, whose master, told my master in front of thousands of students of my master's master that this guy, means my master, has evolved 1,000 times higher than me. Now you all are his students, not mine. That is the tradition. You rise high because we feel that the tradition will continue. That is the best gift we get. Yeah, minimum basic necessities, you have to pay us. That is a different thing. Coming back to the desire. Remember, and follow this again if you have some issues when you wake up in the morning and you feel the mind returns to the stress. As the Terry was explaining, but my body is not listening to me. Why should it listen to you? Why? Body is a guest house, a motel where we live for a few days. So remember again, world consists of three things only. Three things only. Time, place, object. Object includes person, people, things with home. Now, time, place, and object. You bring them together, it creates an event, it creates a situation, it creates a relationship. This is what it is. Let me recognize this. Instantly, when there is an instant recognition, the intellect bringing the knowledge to the mind. Situation made me angry, upset. Really? Does any situation has an anger element in it? Look at it. See, it is because of my mind. My mind perceives that situation differently, possibly with the likes and dislikes. Oh, my time is not good enough. Ah, really? Your time is not good enough? It's your time? Do you see that? When you see it clearly, then what happens? Then I realize my mind gives an interpretation of a particular event and a situation, and then it runs after the stress, anxiety, anger, duality, conflict, manic. One girl texted me, a good friend of mine, that you met my sister, she's maniac. So I stopped for a while. I said, no, it alarms me, it makes me more alert and attentive. So after 5 minutes, I sent her a text that I'm more manic with a smile tag. Why should I label anyone? And I know her, she has been in manic for the last years. Who declares that my sister is manic? Because if I continue with that mental state, and this is created by the only three things: time, place, object. Object includes peaceful. Now question comes, why the mind gives such an interpretation? We should understand that. Why we fail? How should we succeed? I'm just focusing on that topic. But why my mind gives that interpretation? When I have understood, I have heard from this beer guy that the peace and happiness are my essential nature. Have you heard from me? Yes. Say yes, you have. But then why? That interpretation is a projection. It is against the right knowledge. Right knowledge means it is against the right thought. So when you have a projection, and then the mind gives its own interpretation, and own interpretation, then you have a feeling inside, an emotional reaction outside. Did you understand? Say yes. If you do not understand, let me. I am stressed. When you use this word, so there is a subjective feeling of the stress inside and the emotional reaction. Don't talk to me, I'm in stress at this time. Talk to me after an hour. Let me grab a cup of coffee and then I will talk to you. You see, this is the reaction outside and a subjective feeling inside. This comes from the projection, the inner honey that we have covered. When you wake up in the morning and whether the inner honey has taken over you, you have, can I say, you have a fundamental right to refuse it. No, I won't. I will carry out. I'm in stress. How many years? Maybe for the last 10 years. You will not live for 10 years if you live continuously in stress. You cannot be alive. Do you see that? No, you don't understand, You see, the mind gives the wrong interpretation. So then we have a lot of desires. What is desire in relationship to anxiety, duality, delusion, conflict? Desire is a projection, manifest in anger, anxiety, greed, delusion. What is that desire? Desire for peace and happiness will come from outside. It will never come from outside. Do whatever you want. Desire has millions of kids, siblings, sons and daughters, sisters and brothers, parents, in-laws and outlaws. That desire. You have a stress because of the desire. You have duality because of the desire. You have anxiety because of the desire. You have manic because of the desire. I'm giving you some different references to think it over, and you will get, the right perspective of the knowledge. Desire means that I want to prove that I'm rich, that I'm beautiful, that I'm good. And also I want to prove that I'm stressed. Why don't you understand? What should I do if you are in stress? Live in stress. What I'm going to say. Psychotherapy will never say, otherwise, they will lose their business. Add I am before proof. That is the journey of Eastern wisdom. Did you get it? Desire means to prove. Eastern wisdom means to improve. I have a stress in the morning. Let me improve. Let me raise my awareness. Let me not engage in these interpretations by the mind. Let me evolve. Mind, let me do the practice and then I will think about it. Do you see that? We don't do that. I can give you different words. Prove and improve. Choose one. Engage and evolve. Choose one. If I choose pain, choose it, that's your choice. Then then you are not learning Eastern wisdom. The last point that you have to think and contemplate and reflect. If there is a desire, there is a desirer. Mouse, I have a desire for the mouse is an object, and so there is a desirer in me. Or you can say I am a seeker. Seeker is normally used in a positive sense. Desire and desirer. Another word that you should think of, a thought and a thinker. Now tell me, is thinker not a thought? Are you getting it? Desire and desirer. Thinker and a thought. This is mouse. This is one thought. Clear? And I am holding the mouse. So this I am is also a thought. Are you getting it? No. Let me make it simple. In our mind divides the I thought as I am, other thought as the world. When I say I am Sam, is it not a thought? It is a thought. When I say this is mouse, this is also a thought. Desire and desirer both comes from the mind. Whenever we have a desire, the mind divides itself into two, and then it causes all the problems in our life. And when you have that conflict, it results into, when you wake up in the morning, there is a desire, there is a desirer, means there is a thinker. Who is that thinker? You are. What you desire, free from the stress. So both these thoughts continues to fight against each other. That is why we say you have to introduce a new thought pattern in the mind coming from the Eastern wisdom, followed by the practice to answer the question, why we fail, how should we succeed? Got it? Not a long sentence, but it's so simple. The moment you think based on the principles of Eastern wisdom, 50% of the issue is gone. I told you, you wake up in the morning and I'm not feeling well, I still have a lot of challenges. Peace is my essential nature. Happiness is in me. Mind, you're still wandering, let me do the practice, then I will come back to you. You do the practice, you are relaxed and calm, you live at a higher level of awareness. With that higher level of awareness means the intellect. And that intellect brings the knowledge into the mind, there is no stress. On a lighter note, when the mind is playing with us, do you agree the mind plays with us? Don't you have the guts to play with the mind after so many weeks and months? Ask yourself. If you have the guts, you are more intelligent, then you are really intelligent. Especially in couples relationship, when people come to me and I say, who is more intelligent out of the two? Who has to take the lead? And here is your intellect and the mind. Let the intellect take the lead, and you will change yourself. The world is just a game. It's a play. You play with the mind, or the mind plays with you. And remember, this mind plays with us is an indication of corresponding projection, results into stress, depression, anxiety, maniac, and all the problems causing suffering. There is a corresponding element present in the mind. And that gives me an opportunity to evolve, to improve, and to realize the real self. Does your mind has become mature? No, I'm just saying your mind is already mature, but are you ready? Yes, close your eyes. Let us close your eyes. I can give you another reference, but yes. Eyes are closed, body is steady, the mind is facing within. Mind is facing within. I'm still continuing with these steps. Sometime I change based on the discussion we have in order to give you a different point of reference in your intellect that should help you to get. So now in that state, last time what we did, we started instantly. Quick short breathing. Let us start breathing, but pay attention. Mind number one, looking inside the head in the space. Mind number two, recognizes the steadiness in the body. Mind number three is aware of the breath going into the chest and coming out of it. Very good. Mind number four, now action step. You start breathing quick and short breath. Mind number five, dropping Om Shanti deep inside into the space. Mind number 6 or 7 or 8. Mind number 8 is aware of all the steps together. Continue with that and see what happens. Quick and short breath with both the nostrils into the chest. There are many minds working together, means different layers and levels of awareness, but still awareness is one. Continue. You're dropping Om Shanti gently, you're breathing. That you is the mind. And that you are keeping the body mostly steady. If it is not steady, that too is okay. You're keeping all the other thoughts rest aside. Even if they come, let it come and go, and you continue. Continue. And now stop it. Now put the knowledge part. I told you the vidya dadati vinayam. You experience a state of calmness and relaxed. It is a level of awareness where we can receive this knowledge. Vidya dadati vinayam. Knowledge leads to receptivity. The point is, the inner honey constantly claims, get obsessed with stress, anxiety, duality, conflict, creates an image about near and the dear ones, and lives with it with so many thoughts of reaction, anxiety, anger. That is not humility. So vidya dadati vinayam, the knowledge leads to receptivity. So what your intellect says, oh, let me keep all this aside for a while. Now you are receptive. And that makes you a seeker. And once you are a seeker, the journey continues. So let us continue with our nyasa, deep silence, slow breath. As you inhale, you already know it. The mind moves from inside the right arm in the space, singing Om Shanti. Okay, and then as you exhale, the mind moves from the fingertips to the shoulder, singing Om Shanti. I can understand you have a lot of foreign thoughts. No issue. But you can introduce another thought, Om Shanti. You see the point. It is important. Breath is deep. Now you pick up the points another way when the mind is disturbed. You pick up the mind number 1, body is steady. Mind number 2, deep silence, slow breath. You can follow your own pattern. Mind number 3, looking into the space. Mind number 4, dropping the mind, moving the mind with the breath. Yes, breath is going inside, mind is moving. Mind number 7, dropping Om Shanti. Mind number 8 is aware of all. Because mind wants to divide itself. So we say, okay, we agree with you. But when you divide in this pattern, the mind comes down. It is easy, just see that. Now you see that you're mostly the mind getting absorbed. Self-absorption does not mean that you lose awareness. It means you bypass and change those impressions. And now inside the left arm. Inside the left arm is only a reference point, so that the mind remains, or you confine the territory of the mind. That principle comes from Patanjali Yoga Sutra. The moment the mind disturbs you with other kind of thoughts, you simply recognize mind number 1, 2, 3, 4, and go on classifying in your own way. What is going to happen? You know it. Your rate of the breath may drop down to hardly 4 and 5 breaths a minute. But don't push it too much. Let it happen on its own. Why? Because it is the state of deeper calmness. Now, inside the spine, let us leave the limbs. We should not be habitual. The breath goes in, the mind moves from the crown of the head to the tailbone, singing mentally, Om Shanti. While exhaling, the mind moves from the tailbone to the top of the head, inside the spine. Breath and the mind moves together, Om Shanti. So I believe you have understood mind number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe whatever the way your mind recognizes is good. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Now leave this step. Enjoy that state of the calmness and relaxation, but that is not enough. We have to continue to bring about a fundamental change, and then we come to a passive step. Again, follow with the same mind number 1, 2, 3. So if I say the mind number 1, become aware of the right arm. The mind cannot say anything without any reference. And that reference is always an object. So mind number 1, become aware of the right arm. Mind number 2, now with that reference, become aware of the space outside the right arm. Become aware of the sensation in the right arm. When there is a space, we look at the right arm, we have a sensation. We go, mind number 4. We experience the stillness also, a state of stillness in the body. So when you recognize, that is all about recognition. Then you look inside. This is all about knowledge. So when you look inside, you again find the sensation inside is different. And that is what I gave a name, calmness. And now, in that calmness, you see the emptiness or space. That is because it is inner. That is why we say it is quietness. So this is all about bypassing. That is what we have studied, bypassing 5 sheets. This is another approach. And then in that state of the quietness, move the mind inside the heart, saying Om. When you see the mind seems to stop, you simply say Shanti, and that is all. If the mind does not move, and a feeling does not move, we will discuss later. So you find yourself into the infinity. Infinite space. We will talk about, is this infinity you are talking about referring to the real self which is infinite? We'll talk later. So when you give a reference of mind number 1, 2, 3, 4, you start leaving the objective perception from where the projection comes. Use the same left arm. I named the left arm, so it's a reference point. Then another mind, awareness of the space all around the left arm. Another mind number 3 or 4. You feel the sensation. How do you feel that you have a sensation and you have a stillness? They are two. Another mind is stillness. You're looking inside the left arm, it is sensation, calmness. And the sensation permeates in the space. Oh, so there's a space inside, it is quietness. Then the mind moving inside. Shanti. Yes, the entire body. You see, check, understand that clearly. A reference point. The mind cannot talk, cannot express anything without any reference. That guy gave me stress. You see? But that guy is not an object of stress. We don't think. Entire body, the space all around, sensation, stillness, inside, calmness, quietness. Shanti. Just a point, when you leave the reference, you are already there. So when we say Om Shanti, saying Om, we left Om. Shanti, we left the Shanti. So no object is there. That transcends the mind from the objective limitations to the infinity. And do nothing. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand. What a beautiful state you are all in. Bring the mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms. Place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. How are you, Sam?
I'm really good. That was a beautiful meditation. Again, I've mentioned I've gone back and forth between having some heavier meditations and some lighter meditations. This one was a lot more light and joyful. What is the significance of having a heavy meditation versus a light meditation?
Oh, that's your definition. So you have to define what is heavier and lighter.
Body's heavy, body's drooping.
Okay.
Feeling like I'm, maybe tipping over.
Yeah.
I personally have found that when I'm more physically and mentally prepared for class, then I end up with a lighter meditation. And if I don't, if I'm rushing beforehand or if I'm, a little sleepy in the morning and then I go right into meditation, then it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
I end up, doesn't work, but it ends up being a lot heavier on the body.
Yes. So now I have understood heavier based on your experiences of any meditation. So these experiences, again go back to the 5 sheet. I will work on it. I will talk in detail. But just briefly that you have 5 sheets. The first is the physical, second is the energy, third is the mind. So these 3 and their specific interaction in a particular meditation gives you heaviness or lightness. So if they are not aligned, means we don't have enough purity before the practice. You can say we can find that kind of a heaviness. But even that heaviness, you completed the meditation, that is good. That is okay. And lighter obviously refers to the rise in consciousness. Terry didn't move at all. We will talk later. How are you? How are you, David and Jerry? I forgot the causal body.
Extremely beautiful, very peaceful. The only thing I noticed was when we focused on the space outside of the limbs, there was this cool feeling. That was a very powerful part of the meditation for me, but very, very good, very deep.
Very good.
And light.
So according to Sam, very cool feeling is lighter. It's good. How are you, Jerry?
Thank you, sir. During the rapid breath, I noticed the awareness was there, but there was nothing for the mind to do. So when posed with the layers, the mind just said nothing. There's nothing. It was almost like the mind said, "Is there something I need to do?" And nope.
No, yeah, that's beautiful.
And then during the Nyasa, I had something that needed my attention, and just like every day, right, when things need our attention, it almost exemplified the peace inside, because I needed to respond to it, but with peace, not with any frustration or anger or anything, just with the peace.
Beautiful. That is the way it should work. I will continue explaining heavier and the lighter. The way the Jerry explained that this mind is nothing to do Means with what? With an object, with a past impression, with an images, it is lighter meditation. Otherwise, it is heavier. So it means there is some conflict going on in the mind, and that takes my attention, strips my attention, will become heavier. How are you, Terry?
Yes. What you just said was happening to me. So it was about, I got my mind calmed down compared to what it was at the start. So I did not follow the directions exactly, but I was not able to close my eyes,
Yeah.
but I became aware of behind the breath, which was not deep, was something that was not the body, not the breath,
Yes.
not the mind. There was nothing, and I wanted to go there,
To stay there.
but I wasn't able to leave the.
Terry, can you leave this idea, this thought that I am not able? I have been
I was still agitated, but less so.
less. Yeah. Okay.
Enough less to become aware of the other state,
Yeah. Yeah.
place.
Yeah. 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 That's
I was aware of both at once. At least I realized how agitated I was, and I realized there was a choice.
and how calm you are now.
Much more so.
Much more so. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'll send you the number of Eli Markovici today, and I didn't find it, but now I found it. How are you, Barbara?
I'm very good, thank you. It was very peaceful and very calm. And at some point towards the end of the meditation, I felt as if I was floating.
Good. Yeah. Floating means a kind of weightlessness or transcending the body. Normally, people explain out of the body experience, so it has nothing to do with out of body or in the body, but it is a rise in consciousness. How are you, Ashok, sir?
Sir, I am good and fine, peaceful,
Peaceful.
relaxed.
Good. Vaibhav, how are you? Your dad is not coming?
Papa is like the family. There's COVID going on, so cannot able to join.
Oh, COVID is going. COVID, you must do meditation. What COVID has to do with the meditation? Anyhow, yes.
My experience was it's like that taking some time out and making myself totally clear from all the impressions, so I can work with clarity throughout the day without all the impressions. Like these impressions are making my decisions clouded, and so it's a time that I can take clear and then work. So it's very peaceful.
It's very peaceful. Yes, that is really good. You see that is very important. I've been requesting you that to bring these principles and your level of awareness in your daily activities, in your personal, professional, and social, and including the family lives. You will see a tremendous change. The time has come. How are you, Sangeeta?
Sir, what is whatever.
So very deep, very good. How are you, Anastasia?
Thank you very much. I'm good. I had also heavy body and heavy meditation, but it was very relaxing, and I felt darkness and calmness.
Ah, that's pretty deeper. Yeah. Sometimes what happens, the heavier becomes lighter, and the lighter helps you to raise in consciousness. So understand and think why we fail, how should we succeed. You have to pay more attention on how we succeed, and that will help us to go deeper. That is all for today. We'll meet again on Monday. Thank you. Thank you.